Welcome back, Mizzou esports fans. I'm Son of Gary, joined by my co-caster, Wrong Wizard, here on the desk. And we've got a good one for you tonight. NECC Overwatch Premier taking on Cal State Long Beach. This is our Division I match, and this is our first Overwatch stream of the new year. Should be a really exciting one as we really close out this new patch before perks come in to really blow the entire game up next week.
Yeah, that's really going to be a massive change. But for now, we're going to see what the team's going to be like going into the perks, see what's kind of get a baseline, because we really need that, especially going to the next week. And then all of a sudden we have our invitational coming right after that. So it's going to be nice to see a quick baseline against a relatively reasonable state of the game, and then just see how everything shifts, because it's going to be, I'm expecting like giant shift, especially in just where the meta is, because there's not going to be a whole lot of balance when it comes to perks.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that invitational later on tonight, but focusing more on the match at hand, map 1 is going to be Lijiang Tower. We've seen a bit of a meta shift over the last couple weeks, largely influenced by OWCS. I think hero bans coming into that format really encouraged a lot of teams to iterate on their compositions, try out some new heroes. We've seen a lot of Torb, a lot of Sim in this newer meta, Hazard kind of falling out of favor as well. We don't have hero bans in NECC, but I do expect some of those newer developments within the meta to still have an impact on this match. And I have heard Mizzou has been practicing this this ball sim Torb comp that's become very prevalent. It's such a bizarre composition that's sort of emerged, but really interesting and excited to see how that plays out.
Yeah, it's really interesting. This kind of change that we've been seeing, even just with OWCS taking it over and then just having it slowly shift downwards, it's created this really renewed factor in the game to where we're actually seeing a bunch of new comps that are new and fresh.
Well, we're not going to end up seeing the ball on this map. It is going to be a Sim TP out, but it's going to be the Venture Sojourn lineup and an Orisa for Pella. Meanwhile, for Long Beach, it is going to be that Hazard. Once again, this hero has been nerfed several times, so not nearly as strong. And Boltaro already taking a ton of damage as he tries to engage, but his Doomhair getting that first pick off on the Skier. Quickly traded out, though. Pella able to get that one, but Doomhair is good for another.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate to see all this taken out on their healers, though. Even though it is a tank, it is taking out 2 healers in the process, which is really going to hurt their sustain. So the longer Long Beach keeps in this fight, the worse we'll get over time.
Yeah, interesting other difference is the Juno Lucio versus the Kiriko Lucio. Long Beach going all in on speed right now, and Boltaro's back in the fight, but getting pummeled in the front line by the Orisa backstep, but overextends a little bit, but it's not going to matter. This Orisa is just standing tall on point and pushing forward. Still, a pickoff in the back. The Lucio actually got all the way behind to take out Clairvoyant, and with Pella falling low, you might need to back off this one, but he gets a nice long-range kill on the Orisa. Some good tracking coming through there.
There was really good timing there from Mizzou, where they were able to really time in with when their supports got there for an immediate push into the game.
Yeah, we are going to see a pause come in here real quick, but so far, Mizzou, a little bit of a miscue in that first fight, but they managed to come back in, bunker on the point, and establish control there.
Yeah, even though they did lose both their supports in there, having that Lucio with the Kiriko, they could get those back in really quickly, pretty much as soon as they spawned. So they just had to pull back for about 10 seconds. We saw that with the 16% they lost. Nothing too terrible, but got right back into it and got into a really good spot in the game.
Yeah, I think for Long Beach's comp, they're really looking to jump onto a backliner to take them out, probably either Skier or Clairvoyant. But it's a little tricky to do so with the Kiriko and the Orisa in play. It just makes this composition so hard to effectively engage on with the combination of the stun and the Suzu.
The really interesting thing here is because of like how much Mizzou needed healing whenever they got back, they're already looking at portals right now.
Oh, a massive Terra Surge comes through from Pella, pulls 5 in, able to take out that Lucio, and the Hazard in the front line is getting chunked so low. Really nice tank ultimate coming through, and Pella, he's looking for more, charging through the front line. Great spear, just holding the door right now.
You do see a switch from the Havoc into a Zarya here. Really change up that I was not quite expecting from this. Does create some good things, especially with that Genji dive along with the Sojourn in there too.
Yeah, Pella's going to have to play this a little bit carefully. He only has the Kiriko to heal him. It's not the best, especially into the Zarya beam, but the Kitsune rush comes through. He's going to get countered up by a Soundberry on the other side, but Sound Barrier for Sound Barrier right now, and it's the Zarya that's the first to fall. A lot of ultimates invested into this fight, but not any purchase for CSU Long Beach, and the point is ticking up towards 80%.
Yeah,
so
those are
Rissa really hard to evict.
They really did well at making sure to spread out once that Genji had. They didn't get any kills off that too, especially with, they do have a little bit of time since they were able to.
Tectonic Shock is coming through, but backstep, but getting pressured out. The Zarya damage taking him extremely low, and he's going to get finished off by a Swift Strike. But Pella answers back, takes out that Sojourn, and that's the overclock off the table. Clairvoyant's going to go in with an overclock of his own, taking the Zarya so low, able to find that kill. Got the Lucio in his sights next. Not quite able to find it, but in the meantime, Pella gets into the backline with no Zarya to peel. Those lone backliners just going to get taken down, and Mizzou will claim the first round on Control Center.
Yeah, that was a really big difference in who was able to get the most value out of ults there. Mizzou just getting massive ult after massive ult, where Long Beach didn't really get too much, and their tank switched off before they could get out there. They didn't really get any gold ults out of it before switching to Zarya. And once you switch to Zarya on a map like this, you're not going to get a full ult unless you're really quick about it.
I'm curious to see if Pella goes for the ball potentially on this map. I think this one's a lot better for it, but right now it seems like he's probably just going to stick the Orisa. It did work very, very well on that last round.
It's a little clunky with the Zarya there too, though. Especially if
Yeah.
they can get a lot of charge off of force.
I just don't think Zarya's that great into this meta, though.
No. It is looking...
Ooh, okay, we are going to see one adjustment. It is going to be backstep Bud onto the Pharah. He's historically been very good at this hero, so we'll see how well he's able to operate it into this comp. It's definitely pretty decent against the Zarya. You're able to almost completely outrange her and get a lot of spam damage onto the backline. Mizzou playing a long rotation, wrapping around, but looking to come that main, and a great spear from Pella sets up the kill onto the Genji.
That first pick's really going to be the game changer here, especially when they lost a lot of their burst damage outside of their Sojourn. So if they kill all the Sojourn, they're almost out of luck here.
Yeah, I think CSU makes the mistake of just going straight onto the point and trying to bunker. Mizzou takes a much more effective rotation and utilizes that Lucio speed boost to its fullest effect to rotate the team into position at the right time. And then, yeah, that just great mechanical play. Oh, the Echo swap gets taken out almost immediately. Quiver just barely able to survive there, the flank from backstep Bud, but he's got another nasty angle that he's working here. Just so much spam damage into those tight corridors.
Yeah, that's really where Long Beach is getting hurt the most. With the Orisa to just force them back in there and a Pharah to just spam it from distance. There's a lot of damage just going through one choke point that you can't really do anything about.
Yeah, it really seems like Mizzou is not afraid to just burst down these Zarya bubbles. Lucio's getting a little cheeky there, and it's going to get punished for it. Backs up, but cleans that one up. But in the meantime, nobody's paying attention to Pella, and they're able to take him down. Stratocaster, though, able to convert for another one. But the rest of CSU Long Beach able to get on the point. Backs up, both falls, and they're able to get the flip.
Yeah, we did see a switch from Juno, from Juno to Kiriko, which is doing them some nice use here, especially whenever their cleanse is up. But it's not.
Pella's on the Doom now, and here comes a Kitsune Rush mirror from both teams. Oh, Pella is falling so low, but he's got the Rocket Punch. Still backs up Bud, first to fall. The Echo doing a pretty good job of keeping this far in check. I think that was a really good swap from Long Beach, and they're able to continue this hold.
Yeah, we did see. It didn't really take too much. We saw the counter Kiri ult. That's really all that was used in there. Long Beach is finally getting some value out of those ultimates and making them win fights here.
Yeah, they've got that grab available. Duplicate online as well. It's going to be a sound barrier in response from Mizzou. The grab is just going to, ooh, Stratocaster narrowly. Ajax is there, but they're actually able to turn that grab into 2 kills for themselves, and a barrage comes through from backstep, but it's also going to claim 2 more. Just 1 more player left alive. Clairvoyant finishes off the Echo, and that's a point flip over to Mizzou. There's a lot of ults invested, but they're able to get that grab out, and that's really valuable.
Yeah, they did 2 for 1 for it, but to get an immediate win in that kind of situation, they were split up there a little bit, but just by how they had it split up, we're able to actually reverse it.
Yeah, we're going to see another swap. Boltaro moving over to the Junker Queen.
They seem to be really worried about getting finally in because they've been trying to put a lot more safety into their members.
Early overclock with backstep, but just immediately takes out the Echo on the other side. Overclock really not finding much of anything as Pella is just pretty much able to kite that with Doom's mobile kit. Slide in for the Sojourn, trying to find something at the tail end of that ultimate, but not able to get it, and the Suzu's out. Pella wants to go in, finds the Rocket Punch onto the Sojourn, able to take her out. Junker Queen's falling extremely low as well. A massive punch comes through. That's so much damage onto the entire core of CSU Long Beach. And Pella cleaning up. I'm not even sure there's going to be a touch for this one.
Oh yeah, Long Beach is really struggling right now just to get people alive, much less keep the whole team alive.
Pella into the enemy spawn. He's got the Meteor Strike to disengage. Sound barrier on point for Long Beach, but just going to drop back in. And Stratocaster actually taken out there. It was a really good pick for CSU to try. And oh, the punch off the map from Pella though. Losing your tank that early, that could be devastating, but they're still managing to keep this fight going. A duplicate comes through onto the Kiriko.
Yeah.
Mizzou's just going to respect that, back off.
Yeah, once that duplicate comes out, it's a lot harder to get into a fight, especially now they have 2 cleanses. Good luck getting anything through that, not to mention a kill.
Yeah, Boltara is actually going to move back onto the Junker Queen.
You can see from Sojourn to Tracer on both sides.
Yeah. I think you're probably just going to see Clairvoyant try to mark the enemy Tracer, but oh, it's an all-in engage. It's an rush mirror
there
on point, and Pella's got the powered rocket punch, just trying to find something onto this front line, but a lot of healing coming through. Nobody's going down, but finally Pella breaks the stalemate, finds the Junker Queen, and I feel like that's just the floodgates opening here. Without your front line available to sustain here, it's just a matter of time for CSU Long Beach, and Mizzou is cleaning up. Once again, just the Echo left alive, and Clairvoyant on janitor duty.
Yeah, that was really just a big difference in Long Beach not being able to keep people alive long enough.
Yeah, really good first map win for Mizzou there. I think just overall mechanical plays and ultimate usage on point.
Yeah, the swap from Havoc, basically trying to put a little more aggression into the Zarya to try to keep people alive, and they realized it still wasn't enough because whoever they weren't bubbling were just getting killed in return. So they tried to switch to Junker Queen to try to get them at least through a point, but they were just able to sort of slow them down enough with the switch to Doom and just keep them in one place long enough to just get bursted down for their entire team.
Yeah, well, an exciting map one, and I'll have more action coming up right after this short break, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Well, it was a pretty quick map 1, but we are heading on to the second map here in this NECC series. Premier Overwatch, Mizzou up 1-0 over CSU Long Beach. And we are going to be heading to Kings Row next, a pretty classic stomping ground for a lot of teams in this collegiate scene. It's probably one of the most picked, if not the most picked map in the entire sequence. Everything.
Yeah, heading to Scrims Row, it's going to be a lot different than the last match just in general, especially just in how the team comps are likely to face out. We're going to see a lot of big sight lines, a lot of stuff like that. It's just going to be a matter of who can get early picks, which might help Long Beach a little bit because they were getting some early picks but just weren't capitalizing too well off of it. I'm wondering how that's going to play into this next coming match.
Yeah, a lot of scrappy fights we saw on Lijiang, but interesting to see what the compositional differences will be here. It's actually going to be Pella rolling out on the Ramatra. Pretty similar lineup to what we saw on the first map, although Backstab Bud actually going to be moving over to the Sojourn. We saw Clairvoyant on that on the previous map. He's going to be sticking Tracer and just that standard Kiriko Lucio backline. And for Long Beach,
a lot of differences actually.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to stick this because you generally aren't going to want to play a BAP. I think they're going to bubble the Widow just so she can try and get a shot out of spawn.
We already see the switch off from BAP to Ana, which is a little better here, especially with that Genji play.
Okay, no, they're actually going to roll with the Winston here. They've got a Cassidy on that in that hit scan roll. An early jump for Boltaro, trying to put some pressure onto the Mizzou backline, and Pella's just going to go in on the Long Beach backline first, and with the help of Clairvoyant, they're able to clean up the Genji. Yeah, this dive comp.
Like I said, those early picks are everything on this map.
I feel like
cleaning up shop now. That's
I feel like this dive comp is going to really struggle. You just don't have an effective target to go on. I mean, who do you go? You go Skier, Backstab Bud maybe? But if you mistime that, they're just able to get out really easily. And
not to mention with Cleanse and Lucio to help out, it's not going to be an easy fight no matter what you do.
Yeah, I think at the very least, if you're going to run this, you need the Tracer instead of the Genji. But they seem to be wanting to play for Nano Blade.
Which
right Stratocaster though, Boltaro able to catch out now overextended Lucio and gonna clean up another one onto Clairvoyant. So
in this fight, especially with that out of position Ramatra here, that's all but written out for Mizzou here. They have 2 left. Let's see what they can make with these little scraps.
Yeah, Skier just gonna go ahead and TP on over to Backstab Bud, but the Sojourn has kind of left him high and dry, and Quiver is just gonna clean that one back up. Still, there is a re-engage potential, but with the Nano getting invested onto the Winston here, I'm not sure Mizzou is going to be able to get much of anything.
Yeah, they just got forced off there, and just in general, once the Nano comes out, unless you got something big here, which pretty much would have to be which would probably have to be beat drop here, but that's about it. Otherwise, you kind of just have to back off and take the loss on the ground on that fight.
Yeah, Pella's back on over to the Doomfist. Wanted to see what he can get there. Oh, narrowly misses the rocket punch onto the Soldier, and that would have been a kill, but not quite able to convert. He still wants to go for this, though.
It has to work out
low again, but still not quite able to find it. Primal Rage invested from Boltaro, trying to keep this going, but he is taking a ton of damage and is just forced to disengage. Ultimate's online. You got the support ult available for Mizzou, and they're going to go ahead and go in with an early Kitsune rush. There's a lot of damage getting put down here, and a rocket punch stuns Quaver out of the deflect and just punches him right into Backstab Bud's disruptor shot. Really great kill combo there, and Long Beach, the push is stopped for now. They're going to go ahead and retreat in their spawn, and Mizzou actually looking for a bit more. Pella is on the hunt for this Sojourn.
Yeah, but everyone is back on Long Beach now, so it's just a matter of how long can Mizzou keep them locked away, because once they get out, it's going to be rough, because
here comes the Nano Blade. Sound Barrier invested, though, to counter that up, and Quiver just gets taken out, not able to find a kill through that overhealth, and Backstab Bud, in the meantime, goes into the backline with the overclock.
That's hurting Long Beach a lot. To lose out Nano Blade plus Sojourn plus beat drop, it's really hard to come back from something like that.
Ugh, they
especially with just the 2
ults
that were used to counter 4. Mizzou did so much value with so little work there.
Okay. Pella's just slept right in front of the spawn. He doesn't care.
Just by that time.
Yeah, Long Beach is going to go ahead and go for the left side rotate, but in the meantime, Quaver just caught out once again. This Genji is just not having a great time, and Pella is going wild through the backline right now, just constantly getting these empowered punches online. He's got another one. He's going to go for it here. Oh, this could be big. Able to find it onto Lucio. Not quite able to get the kill, though. The body block comes through from Boltaro. Able to save his support, but in the meantime, Clairvoyant once again.
Onto
no.
the Ana. Genji with it as well.
Yeah, and the Genji, once again, just getting taken out on the side.
Not to
Boltaro's
mention-
going to throw the Primal in there, though. Finds backstep Bud, but I don't know about this.
It's still rough for Long Beach, especially with Mizzou doesn't have anyone that's going to be coming back from spawn.
Yeah,
That's just the nature
I mean,
of it.
you do, at the very least, you have the respawn advantage. But Skier's just going to throw in an extremely aggressive, extremely speculative Kitsune rush. And once again, this Genji is just getting hounded in the backline. Pella and Clairvoyant are just doing so much distraction here. But in the meantime, Cart has actually gotten moving, and Stratocaster is forced out. So backstep Bud in a little bit of trouble here.
They did get that time bought out, though.
Yeah.
I think it was, what, 4 minutes in total
I
off
think
of
they
that?
still were getting some cart push, though. So Long Beach back on the offense here.
It is just a
Sojourn
matter of
almost
can
gets traded
Mizzou
out.
play this long enough to get a big ult fight going in.
Ooh, Skier TP's in, immediately takes a face full of railgun damage and not able to survive through that. Sound barrier, though, Stratocaster able to build that up pretty fast from the last time he had it. And Clairvoyant has the pulse bomb ready to go. He's going to be looking for the Sojourn here, and ooh, goes wide. Not able to find anything. Sojourn able to get up to the high ground.
That's kind of just been the nature, though, with Lucio here, especially with how much like overtime damage Long Beach has. What, Winston, that Ana. He's just been, whenever he's on heals, he's just been getting it constantly, and he's been getting good damage on there too. Nothing to scoff at there.
Yeah, Long Beach able to roll through onto the next checkpoint. They also have this Nanoblade ready to go, and
pretty much
crucially,
ulted out
yeah,
here.
Stratocaster already invested that sound barrier in the last fight where they weren't able to get the win. So this Nanoblade is pretty much uncontested now. Huge railgun shot comes through from backstep, but gets a ton of damage. I think that was a collab, but
Genji's dead, though, which
once
puts them in
again,
a lot better position here, at least for a little longer. 'Cause
yeah,
they can now
Quaver
build
has,
something up.
Quaver has just not been having a good time so far this game. And Mizzou, once again, they're going hunting into the Long Beach spawn. They go. Not quite able to find that Lucio. He's just barely able to hightail it back into spawn, but the damage is done. Oh, they almost find the Winston as well.
Yeah, Mizzou's really trying to make up for their ults.
Oh, they're going to be able to get it as well.
Long Beach is just losing so many unnecessary members here.
He dies with Primal, too. They're just trickling out of the spawn right now. They really just need to regroup here.
Yeah, it's really just a matter of can Long Beach stay long enough to get the fight going before Mizzou gets all their ultimates back. We're already halfway to another beat drop, and we just saw that recently.
Yep.
Not
Almost got that Kitsune Rush online as well. That's a big one. And Pella, he's just playing with no fear right now because he knows he has that get out of jail free card with the Meteor Strike. And he's not going to invest it there. And here comes the Nano Monkey instead. Not going to go for the Nano Blade.
Pella's really keeping the rest of the team out of it, though.
The Nano Monkey actually finds purchase. They're going to throw the beat in on top of it. Backstep, but goes down to Quaver in the meantime. Over the Ana, though, taking a ton of damage. This dive coming in from Clairvoyant and Backstep, but it's able to claim 2 members in the backline. And a Kitsune Rush comes through from Skier to keep this fight going. Still, Doomhair picks off Clairvoyant, swinging things back in the favor of Long Beach, and Skier is going to get picked off on the side.
It really is that Winston getting a lot of the value here. Doing enough damage off those dives to like finish off those kills that are kind of left around by everyone else on the
Ooh, the
beach.
Winston goes extremely low. I think Pella hit a nice empowered punch there and almost took out his equal on the other side, but not quite able to find the other tank. Overclock from backside, Bud gets a lot of damage, but he's getting jumped on by this Winston. A Primal Rage is going to get thrown in as well. He's just getting juggled around in the backline. Oh my god, the pocket coming through is insane, but a nice headshot from Doomhair is going to clean him up. Still, Stratocaster finds the Ana. That's the main healing off the table for Long Beach right now. A sound barrier as well from Stratocaster is going to keep Mizzou alive and healthy, and Clairvoyant running rampant through the backline right now. Pella's back and out for blood, trying to find this Sojourn, but not able to convert Boltaro. Once again, this Winston getting so much value. 10 seconds left on the clock. They're just trying to regroup and go back in for another fight. Backstep, but is swapped on over to the Torb.
Yeah, Long Beach
What
had
does
some
Long
rough
Beach have?
timings there with those support ults. It's really coming to bite them back now.
Overtime is here. Stratocaster, he's looking for this Tracer right now, trying to check that pesky flanker off to the side, and Pella gets forced out, but Skiers finds the first blood. The Sojourn goes down. That's a lot of long-range damage off the table, but he's going to have to pedal back, try and find that health pack, but backstab, but he's found another Clairvoyant. Both supports are down, and Mizzou, they're slowly but surely swinging this back in their favor, and backstab, but was just sitting in the back the entire time.
really just making swift work of that. 2 points, not crazy for King Joe, especially with how early they got that first point. Mizzou was really able to kind of lock down that second point for a ridiculous long period of time, just to sort of stall at the time. And some timings on those ultimates from Long Beach with the support ults really put them in positions where they didn't have them to counter when Mizzou had their ults, because they needed to win the fight. They kind of had to use the support ults to get it to happen.
Yeah, I was really wondering when we were going to see one of the teams bring out the Torb, and I think you really see during that last fight why it's been such a popular pick recently. I mean, there's been a joke going around recently that, like, oh yeah, it's time to swap from Sojourn to the superior DPS character, Torbjorn.
Just make it the mini 6v5.
But he's just so tanky and outputs so much frontline damage, especially onto a dive character like Winston. And he has the flank check with the turret that's just so annoying for someone like Genji to try and deal with. So a really potent pick. We're actually not going to see it here, though, for Mizzou. They're going to move backstep over to the Genji and run this double dive DPS setup with Genji Tracer.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of interesting to see what Long Beach has, because they do have some people that'll be slower back from spawn. If we see the Torbjorn fully stick it, that could be rough for Long Beach, because if they pick off that Torbjorn, you're now having a little pilgrimage back from spawn.
This is an interesting setup, though. We've actually seen this a bit in OWCS, particularly in the EMEA region, with this very long-range spam-oriented comp with the Torb, Sojourn, and Sigma. A little bit interesting with the Juno Lucio backline, but it is very survivable, and it's able to taxi the Sigma around pretty effectively. Backstep, but early on is just trying to find some poke onto the Torbjorn. Takes a face full of rivet gunshots, and this turret early on doing a pretty good job of zoning out these flankers for Mizzou, but Backstep Bud's going to take it out. And in the meantime, Pella's made a rotation with Skier on over to the high ground, but Skier's going to get taken out. And yeah, as this Junker Queen is trying to get in onto this high ground with the Lucio, the rest of the team is just falling.
Awkward of a position, but if they can get the respawn timer first, which is not a terrible option.
Oh, okay, so the Sigma's actually been rotated up to try and deal with this Junker Queen in the back, but I'm not sure that's a great position.
Yeah,
because you're not in the front line right now.
Shells.
Yeah, Backstep Bud and Clairvoyant have actually gotten back in here. Backstep Bud swapped on over to the Pharah. Pella, once again, he takes out the Sojourn again. Doomhair is just not having a great round so far, not having a good time. Oh, man. Once again, this Torbjorn is just doing so much to check Clairvoyant on the Tracer. It's really annoying to try and get in here.
I'm wondering if we'll see another swap here, because we did see it from the Genji to that Pharah just to try to handle out those turrets, but the Tracer's getting checked by those turret
the Tracer
shots
Junker Queen is a little rough into this, I think.
Oh, yeah. They can't stop it from really happening either. They kind of just have to kill the Torb, otherwise they're in a really bad position.
Yeah, we also see Skier move on over to the Moira. Not really sure what the objective with that is. I'm not really sold on Moira in this current meta, but Pella's actually going to go over to Ramatra as well. I like this swap. It puts a lot more pressure onto the Sigma.
And allows you to really check out those turrets too.
And he's a lot more survivable against a lot of that spam that's going to come out from the Torb and the Sojourn.
Not to mention that tempo control with Lucio.
Yeah. Oh. Gravitic Flux is just going to get thrown out onto Pella. He's taken extremely low, just forced to block throughout the entire duration of that Nemesis form. And Skier is trying to tank him right now.
We found
the
Molten
Core
Moira.
Gets tossed into the corner still. Pulse Bomb, I think Clairvoyant just throws that under the turret. Sound barrier from both teams right now, and Ghost Dog just gets focused down. Really nice coalescence come through.
Moira, though. That amount of healing was the only reason they won that fight, just in general.
Oh, this Torb is proven to be a little bit tricky to get rid of, just hanging around inside Hotel, but Mizzou is going to eventually crack this point open. We're going to see another swap from Boltaro. He's going to move on over to the Orisa.
Yeah, they really are just shutting down a lot of what that Torb wants to do here. We see now from the switch to the Orisa too that they're wanting to finally shut down this Ramatra, sort of keep him in his place. Moira does go down though, which is not what you want to see, especially with that much healing going down the drain now.
Yeah, not really sure what Skier was doing in that position. Backstep Bud also getting hunted down.
They're still getting some push though.
Yeah, with the Orisa leading the charge, it becomes a little trickier for Pella in the front line. The spear just makes it a lot harder for the Ramatra to operate. And you can see he's getting taken so low in that Nemesis form. Caught out kind of in the Long Beach backline, and it's just going to get taken down. A spear lands on a Clairvoyant. Really nice shot from Boltaro there. And
that Orisa is really able to push back the team, which is kind of what's been Mizzou's profit line is they've been trying to get into the fight and then stay there. But Arisa's kind of able to finally force it back, which is really helping out Long Beach a lot. Mizzou kind of just needs to either not get hit by the spear, which is easier said than done, or play ways to play around Arisa.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to miss the spear onto the Ramatra with Nemesis form. Orbital Ray is also available for Long Beach right now. Gonna throw in their own duplicate just to survive that focusing beam from Backset Bud. And the Juno actually goes down during Orbital Ray cast. The Ray still goes down, and that's a ton of damage. Long Beach is still gonna use that to push, but a nice spear from Backset Bud with the copy to Rissa. Gonna stop that duplicate from getting too much value. He has got the Terror Surge, trying to find something with it. Not able to actually get the damage or the kill onto the Torbjorn. He's actually going to survive. Stratocaster able to finish that one off, though, and with Pella back in the fray, he's actually just pushing this cart. A really nice Ravenous Vortex is going to lead to the kill on that Lucio, and Mizzou will finally get this cart moving.
That got them a whole lot of value off that Vortex there, just slowing down the Lucio, and, you know, while riding Lucio's a pesky little fly on the wall. Being able to take out Torb Turret, too, kind of allowed their Echo to finally rotate out without having to worry about it either, which just really good things to do in downtime.
Somber for Clairvoyant now. I don't know about this. It definitely puts a lot more pressure onto the Orisa. She's very susceptible to that hack, but just gets taken out immediately. I think that was a spear setup, and the slow comes through from Stratocaster, but just the amp speed is able to completely bypass that. Stratocaster is going to invest his Sound Barrier into this fight to try and keep it going. Skier's actually going to throw the Coalescence in as well, but just going to get answered back by a Sound Barrier from Hashtag.
We do see that Vinny stuck at this common.
Wait, where is Skier playing? What is this?
I don't even know. I stopped thinking about it too hard because I was racking my brain on that too. But it's forced them to look at him.
Yeah, I think they maybe switch off Moira here.
Yeah. It did its value. It got what it needed, but it's no longer useful with that Sigma ult out of the way.
Yeah, you see the Hack Virus combo comes out onto the Orisa, gets a ton of damage, but not quite able to convert for the kill. A lot of healing from the Juno in this comp, and Skier still sticking the Moira. I don't know about this. We're finally going to see a Torbjorn swap for Clairvoyant, so he's just going to go ahead and mirror this, not getting much value out of the Sombra.
Yeah, which you'd like to get that EMP, but sometimes you just can't. Okay. Oh, just not being able to quite get that.
Forces the recall.
Big.
And he wants to stick this duel. Gets a nice volley of stickies onto the Tracer. She's falling extremely low. He's managing to force her out here.
Well, you just gotta hope it's enough with this final push, because they're not gonna get another one.
You're gonna have an Annihilation and a Duplicate, but you're playing into an Orbital Ray. That is such a strong ultimate. You've gotta try and maybe find an early kill onto this Juno, but the Ray's just gonna come on in. Duplicate comes on onto Orisa, but it's an early pick onto Clairvoyant. The Torbjorn gets taken out and backs up, but knocked out of that Duplicate form before he can get an ultimate online. Pella able to answer back, finds the Torbjorn, pops the Annihilation on point. There's a Terror Surge available for Voltaro, though, and Pella is just getting taken so low. He's forced to block. Ooh, and the Spear is going to knock that block down. And Mizzou,
one left.
They're getting picked apart here.
It's just one by one.
Backs up Bud, finding one kill, but it's too little, too late. And it's just Clairvoyant desperately dancing around on point, dodges the Pulse Bomb. He's probably going to be able to blink onto there for one last OT touch, but no. And Long Beach takes map 2.
Yeah, it was really just a matter of them switching up their comp to being able to sort of stop Mizzou just all-in rush at them. Just that Orisa swap really helped them out there so much. Being able to throw a spear onto those engages just shuts down so much, especially when your engages are on time limit like Ramatra.
Yeah, Mizzou just having a little bit of trouble. I think it was the Torbjorn adjustment that really threw them for a loop, but I think there were just a lot of miscues in that map as well. Like, you can't have your Moira ending up in the enemy backline.
Yes.
I really don't know what that was about. But we are going to take a short 5-minute break before the next match, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right after this. Welcome back. Mizzou stumbles a little bit in map 2, tying up the series 1-1. I'm Sonagary, joined by a new caster on the desk. We got Henry here.
Hello.
And we are heading on to map number 3, which is going to be Runa Sapi, our push map for the day.
Looking forward to a fun match. Going to see if Mizzou can recover from that little oopsie at the end of round 2 there. It was close, but they couldn't quite clinch that win. What do you think needs to change here in round 3?
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they're going to go for compositionally here. I'd heard early on that they were going to be practicing and maybe running with the Wrecking Ball, so I think this is a map where that's definitely better. So we'll see what they decide to go for here, but it really seemed like the Torbjorn was what was throwing them for a loop at the end there, and by the time they decided to mirror it, it was already a little too late. So
Yeah, definitely that Torbjorn feeling very strong right now. A lot of health, very hard to kill, and as you said, the turret giving a strong answer to any potential flanks. Looks like we are going to see Pella on the Wrecking Ball here. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm excited to see what he can do.
yeah, that should be a fun one. Yeah, hashtag was hovering the Lifeweaver. I don't think we're going to see that, though. They're just going to go back to this Juno Lucio comp, and Pella
Coming out the gates here.
We've seen it before. He is very, very good on this hero. Seen this a lot for Avidity in OWCS so far. Fortunately, Pella ended up falling with them earlier today in their series against Nightmare. But looking to get in the win column here today, this afternoon.
Already loving the movement I'm seeing from Pella. He wants to get in there and just get a huge seismic crash on the enemy and really disrupt them. Taking out Boltaro there.
Yeah, I think that he might have just caught him down while the Juno was busy in reload animation, because really can't think of why the Orisa would be falling there. But in the meantime, the rest of Mizzou is getting picked off. Nice volley of torpedoes comes out, takes out that Echo.
Against the Torbjorn turret, even when everyone is distracted by the Wrecking Ball, the Torbjorn turret can take out those flankers. Everyone going down there. Stratocaster as well from Quaver on the Torb.
Yeah, we are going to see the hazard swap here. So no longer wanting to play the Orisa is CSU Long Beach. And 20 meters on the board for Mizzou, but the bot's going to start moving back in the other direction. I'm still not convinced Hazard is the strongest pick here, but Boltaro's making it work early on. 2 great kills there, and that's going to stop Mizzou from being able to put together a re-engage. Pella's just going to roll through, try and get a little bit of stall, but not going to be able to find much of anything there. And Mizzou got to rethink their strategy a little bit.
You know, I think Boltaro on the Hazard, I think he might be able to get some work done into this Mizzou comp. With Pella wanting to go in and dive, Hazard might be able to get in there and wreak the havoc that he wants to.
Yeah, I think with the composition that Mizzou is running, that the Sojourn and the Kiriko are going to be very vulnerable to that. Minefield comes out from Pella. It's going to get a lot of zoning, but no kills. CSU just backing up from that, not wanting to play in that range. So this affords Mizzou some space to work with, try and get something set up here. And backstep Bud moving into the back line, gets a nice volley of stickies on there. Oh, but he's got to be careful of this Hazard. Taking extremely low, able to get out of there. Some nice peel coming through from Skier. And Quaver trying to get a little flank with the Torbjorn, but it's Boltaro that picks off Clairvoyant. This Hazard, once again, just jumping into the back line and getting so much value. And Mizzou, they're having a hard time putting a dive together.
Yeah, it's pretty chaotic here, with lots of little skirmishes going on everywhere. And you see that as you know, as soon as a couple people get eyes on the same target, they fall down. And here we're seeing Mizzou trying to kind of get their footing again, having some staggered deaths here, and they want to try and get everything together and take control of that bot.
Yeah. Unfortunately there, CSU ends up getting the cap, so they will have this forward spawn to be able to take another fight here in the middle of the map. Ultimates are available, and we're going to see a Molten Core come out from Quaver. Sound Barrier as well, layering on that survivability for CSU Long Beach. And Stratocaster trying to take a duel with the Sojourn off to the side, but the Hazard comes in to assist still. Clairvoyant picks off the Lucio on the other side. And an Overclock Invested going to get shut down by Pella. And this is just picks back and forth. Both tanks still alive, though. And this Hazard looking for another kill onto Clairvoyant. Just going to clean that up with the Spike Guard. But Pella goes into the back line, finds the Juno. It's just the tanks left alive here. These two juggernauts. But not going to opt to take the 1v1.
Yeah, Mizzou being very conservative with their ult usage there. Not wanting to throw the sound barrier or the Kitsune Rush into that fight just yet. And they still seem to come out pretty good. Of course, now we're seeing Hazard coming in, sort of collapsing on the remnants of Mizzou now that Pella is down. And wow, what a shot by Clairvoyant there.
Yeah, really nice shot there. Cleans up the Sojourn, but the fight's already lost. Bots moving back over to the CSU barricade. Still Mizzou in a position to take another fight. Sound barrier early from Stratocaster is going to allow Mizzou to get in here. Oh, but the downpour catches out Clairvoyant. Still traded back. The Juno is down for CSU, and that's the lion's share of the healing off the table. And with that, they're able to take down the Hazard. And that's the main threat off the board. Mizzou's going to be able to swing that back around. And I don't believe CSU got the bot past the checkpoints. They won't have the forward spawn to re-engage on this.
It was interesting to watching that fight, the Hazard getting isolated there, and that seemed to make all the difference to get that Hazard away from his team and just kind of take him down there. Here we're seeing a little bit of footsies going on, playing poke. Pella's getting in there, trying to wreak his havoc on the Reeking Ball.
Yeah, just completely separates the Sojourn for the rest of our team and gets that kill. Really nice there. We're also seeing an adjustment on the DPS side of things. Clairvoyant and Quaver going to be taking a Tracer duel here. No more Torbjorn in play, and Mizzou with that, they're able to get the cap and the lead here. Really crucial fight. Voltaro extremely low on the Hazard, but he's got the Tracer on his side.
Yeah, Hazard managing to live there. That's got to sting.
Yeah.
Oh, big bounce by
Pella.
Pella there as everyone collapses here on the flank. Another quick pick by Clairvoyant.
Yeah, really nice stuff for him. Just don't ask him what happened on the Paul earlier
Oh,
today.
and here's an interesting minefield, trying to cause some disarray in the background here. See what he can't find. He finds a Juno. He's looking for a Lucio.
Sam comes in, gonna connect onto the Cassidy. Bit of a swap coming through from CSU. Gonna try and counter up this dive, but no such luck there. Grapple hook kill. And Mizzou, they are charging into the CSU spawn right now, 100 meters and counting, and the Wrecking Ball is just doing circles, literally.
That was really impressive to see Pella just sort of holding the front line there, disrupting their team even at their own spawn so that Mizzou could get a ton of progress on the payload there. Really good stuff there by Pella.
Yeah, the Hazard just keeps trying to leap in, but every time he does, Pella just goes straight in onto the back line, picking off this Juno fight after fight. It's got to be a sound barrier for Hashtag right now, but the barrage comes in from Backstab Bud. Destroys the Hazard in a matter of seconds. And Mizzou, they are knocking on the door of a full cap here. Ooh, man. They are definitely wanting to prove that that last map was a fluke. It's going to be a desperation fight here for CSU. Pulse Bomb tossed in by Clairvoyant. Orbital Ray off to the side as well. Not able to find the kill onto Lucio. Doomhair able to take out Clairvoyant as he's trying to go for those backliners. And it's a 2-for-1 trade right now. Make that a 3-for-1 in favor of Long Beach. And Mizzou's just going to go ahead and back up here. Pella's going to try and save his Kiriko here, but it might cost him his life in the end. And yeah, the Wrecking Ball will fall. Skier able to get out of there, though, so.
That's got to sting for Mizzou. That was a really close to victory there, and that fight just did not go their way. And it's looking like they're at a little bit of an old disadvantage here, but that they're going to pick that up soon. Looking forward to that minefield. Looking forward to that Kitsune Rush and maybe win the next team fight.
Oh my God, Skier just pumping out some amazing headshots with the Kiriko there. Sets up the kill onto the Juno, finds the Tracer. But still, Boltaro throws in the downpour, and he's able to convert that into 2 kills of his own. Deadeye for Doomhair. Pella's just going to go ahead and drop the mines on top of that. And they're trying to clean up the rest of these members of Long Beach, but Boltaro is making that a mighty tough task. This Hazard just so hard to get rid of. A Brig swap as well for Hashtag. And Pella's just going to go ahead and get out of there. He's able to take out the Brig in the meantime, but if you're Mizzou, you really can afford to just let them keep pushing just a little bit. You have 100 meters of lead right now.
Yeah.
They're just going to be able to re-engage here, take another fight. Boltaro getting pressured out by Backstab Bud. Those rockets doing a lot of damage even through that Sprite Guard. Still, just got to be careful. Recall forced, and it's going to be a Kitsune Rush for Skier. Just charging down main. immediately finding both DPS, and this Hazard is just desperately trying to find a kill into the backline, but these supports are doing a great job staying alive against that dive. Clairvoyance comes back in for the assist, picking up that Hazard, and yeah, Mizzou doing a really good job here, keeping control of this match.
Skier just looking to confirm that kill there. Takes him a second to find it. And yeah, it's looking a little pretty good for Mizzou right now. So they come out of that team fight winning. They got the sound barrier ready. And it's looking like Brig and Tracer are gonna duke it out. Mizzou looking for some picks, but Hazard is coming in. They're bringing the
Ooh, okay. Yeah, a lot of damage getting pumped into Boltaro there, but he's able to tank it and just jump straight in the back of Bud's face, take out that Pharah. Boltaro finds another one in the meantime. That Hazard is just such a deadly threat if you don't respect him properly. Still, Clairvoyant managing to keep things fairly even. Trades out one. Pella still in, trying to get some damage onto this Tracer, and just going in with the dive with Stratocaster. The Orbital Ray is forced, though, and that healing is able to allow this backline to withstand the dive pressure. Oh, Pella narrowly avoiding the Cassidy there. He's going to grab the Mega and get out with his life. And Mizzou, they just need one fight. CSU Long Beach has a mountain to climb to flip this match back into their favor.
And Pella's just going to crash on in there into their whole team, trying to just get them in disarray so that they cannot, CSU here cannot find the team
sound
fight
barrier
that they
on
need.
point, and this Cassidy is falling extremely low. Stratocaster is just going to boop him straight into the LOS of Pella and backstab Bud. And that is all she wrote for Runasapi. A dominant performance from Mizzou, bouncing back from that stumble on map 1.
I gotta say, I saw exactly what I wanted to see there from Pella's Wrecking Ball gameplay. Really getting into that backline, causing some disarray, letting the other little skirmishes, you know, letting the other fighters take care of the little stuff while he just gets in there and causes all kinds of trouble.
Yeah, that's really the name of the game for Wrecking Ball, and it almost feels like Mizzou is maybe holding back a little bit on those previous maps, wanting to try out some new compositions, maybe in preparation for the expected meta shift next week. But here, they just whip out their signature strategy, Pella on the Wrecking Ball, and it completely dominates Long Beach.
Oh yeah, it was looking a little dicey there, but I think once Pella found his groove, and of course the rest of the team played, you know, fantastic as well.
Yeah, with that, Mizzou moves to match point in this series, so we'll come back with map 4, potentially the decider map, right after a short break, so don't go anywhere. Well, it was a bit of a rough affair on map 2 for Mizzou, but they managed to bounce back in dominant fashion in map 3 in this series against CSU Long Beach. And we are just jumping straight into the action here on map 4. This is going to be New Junk City. And yeah, Mizzou rolling out with the Wrecking Ball comp on that last map. They just look so much more prepared than they had previously in this series.
Curious to see how the composition will change. There's a lot of space to cover on this map by the looks of it. And so Wrecking Ball might have a little more trouble closing that gap than he would on the previous map. Appella's going to stick with it. We got Clairvoyant on Torb, who's looking very strong, as we've mentioned before.
Yeah, CSU is looking like they want to go back to this Orisa comp. I'm a little concerned. The Wrecking Ball struggles a bit, I think, on this first point on New Junk City, but then once the map kind of opens up a little bit with the 4 outer points, it definitely gets a lot better because there's a lot more flank angles where you're able to set up here. This first point, though, is a lot brawlier. I think it's going to favor this Orisa setup a bit more. And as we're going to see, Mizzou able to set up first. Backstab early on, going to spot out that Tracer, and Pella is just getting so much damage in onto the backline, able to separate the Kiriko from the rest of the team, but ooh, gets hunted down by the Tracer, so no more Wrecking Ball available. And Mizzou's got to play this a bit carefully now. Boltaro, though, getting taken so low, the focusing beam, and Backstab Bud is just able to take out that Orisa, so no tanks available for either team right now. Stratocaster is just going to cap up that point, and Mizzou leveraging an advantage for now.
I gotta say, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Skier on the Kiriko as well. Kind of a hidden force there, but dealing a lot of damage to the targets that are more, focused on Clairvoyant on the Torb, or Pella on the Wrecking Ball, of course. Ooh, and Pella getting in there.
Yeah, Backstab Butt is going to end up falling, though, as Pella goes in for the dive. He's just not able to find the damage or the follow-up from the rest of his team to really get a pick there. And Mizzou's progress will stall at 40%. Pella's just going to try and get out of here after doing a little bit of damage to the Kiriko. Actually going to go back in, try and put some pressure onto this point, but in the meantime, Quaver gets in, takes out Skier once again. And that Kiriko has fallen early in 2 consecutive fights. That's not something you really can afford. Clairvoyant's able to answer back with a kill on to the opposite Kiriko. But I'm not sure if Mizzou's really going to want to try and engage this.
Yeah, a little time to regroup and recover.
Ooh, backs up with, tries to go for a cheeky flank there and just gets spotted out. Doomhair takes him out there. Still, Mizzou actually ends up getting the flip. Stratocaster taking out the turret there. That's going to open up the battlefield for Backstab Bud to get a little bit more work done, but the rest of Mizzou, they're just getting pushed into this corner. Kitsune rush on the field for Long Beach, and they're just sending it straight into the back line. It's a desperation minefield for Pella to try and turn this, but it doesn't look like it's getting anything, and this Wrecking Ball is getting taken so low. Those adaptive shields only last for so long. It's a kill onto the Lucio, but that's not going to be enough, and Flip is going to go back over towards Long Beach.
Oh, yeah. Boltero on the Orisa doing a great job as the Vanguard there, picking targets and collapsing on them. And Quaver is there with the Torbjorn as well to bring the thunder, as it were.
Yeah, almost up towards that Terra Surge as well. A lot of ultimates coming online for Mizzou. They're going to drop in the duplicate early. Backstab Bud actually ate up a lot of that Molten Core with his Spear Spin, but a decent amount still on point. He's just going to get taken out of that duplicate form. Ooh, the Orisa getting chunked so low, but he manages to find a kill onto Lucio in the meantime. I think Stratocaster might have lost his sound barrier there. I'm not 100% sure, but Skier sending in the Kitsune Rush to clean things up, and in the midst of the chaos, Mizzou actually ends up getting the flip, and it ticks up above 100%, and they just get the point.
Wow, and a very close fight there. Backstab Bud eating up that Molten Core, I think really made the difference. That was really nice to see.
Yeah. Boltaro actually going to move on over to the D.Va. I think this is mainly just to try and deal with Backstab Bud on the Echo. It's been proven to be a bit bothersome for the Orisa, just the focusing beam doing so much damage onto that immobile target. The D.Va gives you a little bit more opportunity to mark a target, but in the meantime, tunnel vision onto Pella, and Backstab Bud just gets into the backline, takes out the Lucio early. Long Beach is going to try and throw in the Kitsune Rush to flip this on over with 2 players already down. I'm not sure what they're going to be able to make out of it, especially with Pella's Minefield zoning out the majority of that rush. Mizzou has all the space in the world on point, And Clairvoyant's just sending down shots through main. This Torbjorn's completely uncontested, just spamming. Still, as the Kitsune Russian mines expire, Boltaro gets back in and is able to find the kill onto backside, but so Mizzou having a little bit of trouble cleaning this fight up. And Stratocaster and Clairvoyant are just going to try and get out of here. Flip goes over to Long Beach.
Boltaro with the swap on the D.Va, so far it seems like a pretty effective choice. Able to stick on Pela like glue with the jet boosters and really sort of stifle his ability to get into the back line.
Yeah, Molten Core on point for Quaver, but Pela ends up finding first blood. Duplicate onto the D.Va for backstep, but he's just charging into the back line. A little bit of reminiscent old Overwatch 1 days with the ball D.Va dive, but he's going to get taken out of the mech here. Boltaro also has the self-destruct if he needs to survive here. Oh, the remech kill comes through, though. That's a really big one. Quaver just a little bit unlucky. Self-destruct came out from Boltaro, but not able to find anything, and several ultimates invested for both teams, but Zoo comes out on top in that engagement, and they've got more to work with for the next fight.
Oh yeah, huge value out of backstep, but ult there with the D.Va, getting a kill on the remake, just wreaking all kinds of havoc there.
Kira overextended once again, though. Quaver just finds a headshot, takes out the Kira code. You really don't want to see that. Pela harassing the backline right now, but I think he's got to be careful. This Tracer can pump out a considerable amount of damage onto the Wrecking Ball. Stratocaster is going to lay down the beat as the rest of Long Beach moves on to point. No kills coming either way. Minefield invested from Pela. It's going to take out the turret. Takes Doomhara low enough to be finished off by Stratocaster as well, but the majority of the picks are going the way of Long Beach right now. The D.Va just getting into the backline, doing so much work with the Kitsune Rush at her back. And Pela just trying to stall things out, but the flip has already come through. Wrecking Ball just rolls through, trying to stay alive for now.
I'm not sure that minefield is where Pela wanted it to be. It seemed to sort of fall off to the side of the point.
What is it with the Moira? I really don't like this pick. 90% and counting for Long Beach. Pela's going to have to touch. The rest of the team trying to get back in time so that they can take a full fight. Self-destruct online. Pulse Bomb close for Doomhara as well. Mizzou, they really got to get a dive going, but Skier just immediately gets taken out, and the Pulse Bomb finds its mark on to backstep, but that's pretty much going to spell the end for Mizzou's contest here. A kill onto the Lucio maybe keeps things going, and they are going to be able to get the D-Mech onto Boltaro, but he's just going to self-destruct to get right back into that and actually takes out Clairvoyant in the Baby D.Va form. So Long Beach on the board on this map now. The adjustments seem to be working.
Yeah. It was a pretty messy fight in a lot of ways, and I think at the end of it, just couldn't get the touch onto that flashpoint that they wanted.
Yeah, and once again, I'm just really skeptical of this Moira pick from Skier. This is the second map we've seen it. It didn't work well the first time, and I don't really see what the point of it is here. It just seems like such a vulnerable dive target for the rest of CSU to go on, especially since you don't have the peel of the D.Va. And as I say that, Ghost Dog just randomly picks off backstab Bud. So there's a lot of your dive damage off the table. You've just got Clairvoyant spamming in shots in the Torbjorn. He's actually just going to throw in the Molten Core from way downtown, and it's going to get answered back by a Molten Core from Quaver. And that one's just a little bit better. The damage is done onto Clairvoyant, and Long Beach gets the cap here. Trying to duel these last couple of members in this corridor. So Boltaro falling low, he's going to get forced back. And actually Pela manages to get the D-Mech here, so that's a really good entry frag. They're going to be able to make some space off of this at the very least. And Pela has the minefield to try and continue to make this fight work.
Very interesting to watch Pela just like sort of in many ways determining the pace of the fight for Mizzou here, swinging back and forth like the pendulum he is. And now we're going to see him go all of Mizzou go way in here. Try and
oh yeah, these two backliners are really isolated from the rest of the team, but Boltaro has rejoined them. This D.Va, ooh, he's looking for Stratocaster. But Lucio falling so low, but on the other side, Sound Barrier invested for hashtag. Pela's just going to go ahead and throw in his mines. They get cleared by the self-destruct from Boltaro, but really no other members falling right now. Clairvoyant is desperate, or backstep Bud rather, trying to find this Torbjorn, but it's actually the Lucio that's going to fall on the side of Long Beach. A trade of Lucios, in fact, as Boltaro goes in and finds Stratocaster. Long Beach making their way onto the point, trying to find this flip. Pela's just going to try and stall this out for now. He's got backstep Bud there as well. Ooh, taken extremely low though, and Voltaro is able to finish off the Tracer. A clutch sound barrier comes in there to save Clairvoyant though, who's actually swapped on over to the Mei, but just so many ultimates getting invested into this fight from both teams, and a Molten Core on point from Quaver, I think is going to force Mizzou back for now.
Yeah, Mizzou really was for a while there sitting in Long Beach's backline trying to pick people off as they moved towards the point, but it just didn't pan out for them. They couldn't quite get the picks they were looking for, and when it came down to the fight on the point, didn't end up looking good for them.
Skier just pressured early from Voltaro, and this Moira, ooh, actually a nice boop though from Pella. Just boops 3 members into the Mizzou backline where they can easily be cleaned up, but Voltaro in the meantime though finds Clairvoyant. That's really rough trade. If they were just able to get the pick there and not have Clairvoyant fall, that would have been so valuable. But Mizzou is still trying to go in off of this. They're able to pick off Ghost Dog. And with the healing off the table, Voltaro's going to have a lot harder time sustaining, but they managed to find 2 in the backline off the self-destruct. Just so much space created, and the Tracer is able to convert. Flip goes over to Mizzou, but it's 99-99 for both teams. Lucio goes down. He was very close to the sound barrier. That could be a really crucial pick for Mizzou, but they've got to get rid of these last few members. Voltaro is so low, but they're just not able to find the damage they need to take this D.Va out of mech quite yet. The Kiriko is back, and that D.Va is going to have healing to sustain through that fight. Pulse Bomb goes wide. Clairvoyant going to be staying alive for the time being. A nice wall is going to cut off Voltaro. This D.Va falling so low, and a beautiful headshot from the Mei takes out the Tracer. This fight swinging back in favor of Mizzou, but the sound barrier gets layered in from Hashtag. This is such a stressful engagement. The Eat is not able to connect onto the Blizzard, and it forces out the TP from Ghost Dog, who ends up falling to Clairvoyant. Oh, Multicore on point though. This is so dangerous to play around, but with Mizzou having point control, they can afford to play off this objective for just a little bit. Wall comes out, trying to zone off this D.Va, finally finding the D-Mech. Still, a pick goes the way of Long Beach. They're able to pick off the Mei, but with so many picks going the way of Mizzou, I think they will just be able to claim this point. Tracer just desperately dancing around, trying to keep this going. Kiriko's going to TP in for a last-minute touch, but Pella's able to clean that one up, and Mizzou, a long and arduous fight. They go to map point here.
Really nice ult usage, I feel, by Mizzou there between the minefield, the freezing field, and the, of course, the Molten Core there, really creating a inhabitable zone for Long Beach and just doing some great defense on that point.
Okay, Doomhair is going to go ahead and abandon the Tracer duel and move on over to Cassidy, so Long Beach's comp is moving on over to just a full anti-dive setup here with the Torb cast. Pella tries to get a knockback onto the D.Va, push her back into the team, but backstep, but maybe just not expecting those swaps to come through, but a massive setup from Skier with the Coalescence. Still answered back with another set of picks. Pella seems to think this is still winnable. He's going to layer in the minefield to try and get this cap going in onto the backline, hindered up, but knocks Doomhair straight into the crosshairs of Clairvoyant, who finishes that off with a nice long-range Icicle. And backstep, Bud, once again on cleanup duty on this Tracer.
And, you know, I think that switch to Cassidy by Long Beach shows that they've sort of identified Mizzou's key strategy, which is to send Pella in there, have him cause all sorts of disruption, and just clean him up between. May being a great choice there to slow people down and really just make them helpless when they are separated from their team.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a Kitsune Rush engagement for Ghost Dog in this next fight. He's going to pull that early, and ooh, I think that's a really bad position for that. Mizzou's just able to kite all the way over to the opposite side of point. Still, Doomhair able to find a nice headshot on the backstab, Bud. Able to zone the rest of the team out with this Deadeye. And Long Beach gets the cap off of that. The Kitsune Rush to enter, and a headshot to shut things down. Still, Mizzou wants to keep fighting this. Turret taken down. Alpha threat down, I guess. Ultimate's coming online as well. DPS ult available for Mizzou. It's a sound barrier on the other side, though, that they're going to be playing into. And Pella, looking for this Kiriko, manages to force out that sound barrier. And a Blizzard on point. He's going to force some positioning out of this D.Va and actually take out the Kiriko as well, but it's a trade. Backstep, but Skier fall. Picks going back and forth, but I think this favors Long Beach as they have control of the objective. Some nice Icicles come through from Clairvoyant, though. He wants to try and find this D-Mech, but he's not quite able to get it. And Doomhair gonna finish that fight out for Long Beach. Final fight territory on this point. I think Mizzou really wants to close it out here. You do not really want to go to a final flashpoint.
Mizzou's got an opportunity here. They got the sound barrier. They got the pulse bomb. That pulse bomb can just land the right pick. this could be it. But we'll see here.
Mindful for Pella. Oh, but the sound barrier, it doesn't catch on to Skier in time, and the Moira goes down. The mines go wide as well, not able to find a pick. And Mizzou, they've got to touch the point. Oh, they just barely managed to get a member on, but the floor is lava now. Quaver pulls out the Molten Core, just dumps that all over the point, and this is going to be extremely hard to keep contesting for Mizzou. Members are falling left and right, and Long Beach, they have the picks. They're going to send this to a 5th and final flashpoint here.
Yeah, it just seems like for a couple unfortunate ults by Mizzou there, not executing the combo that I think they were hoping for there. And that allowed Long Beach to really establish their control of the point, use their ults to sort of set the rules of engagement and establish their space, their dominance of that space.
Yeah. Fortunately for Mizzou, I think this next point is probably one of the best on this map for Wrecking Ball, and they're going to go in early with an aggressive... Oh, but Skier gets taken out during his ultimate. Both supports go down, and the counter engage with the Kitsune Rush is enough to flip things in favor of Long Beach. Is a really good start for Mizzou. I love the pile drive engage with the Coalescence, but it's just not able to find any picks quick enough.
Clairvoyant doing a great job there, though. Really showing off the staying power of May, holding on to that point and denying it for a good while there.
Yeah, it's Kitsune Rush for Coalescence there, but you're going to be playing into a sound barrier next fight, and these flashpoints, they don't last for very long, and that is a really bad start to this fight. Stratocaster just getting taken out. You can't be letting that happen, but the boop off the map. And Pella immediately equalizes, forces out the sound barrier for hashtag. Mines are on point, zoning things up, and this D.Va is falling extremely low still. Skier forced out of the fight for now. Pella is high and dry. He's all alone, trying to desperately weave his way through the back line. And Mizzou, they've just had such a hard time taking this D.Va out of the fight so far. Blizzard, though, is going to get the freeze onto Boltara. I think they should finally be able to get the DMAC, but no. Boltara was able to get up to the high ground and avoid any of the damage follow-up from that freeze. And now that Quaver's back in the fight, he's just able to layer the Molten Core on point. This is final fight territory for Mizzou. They got to reset now.
And Boltara really doing just some dirty work on that D.Va, pushing forward, being real slippery, never getting caught in the way that Mizzou really wants to catch them right now.
93%. I'm not sure anybody's going to be able to touch. It's going to have to be either Stratocaster or Skier, and they're just not able to get there in time. Long Beach sneaks that away 3-2. A really unfortunate ending there for Mizzou.
A nail-biter for sure. I think it was there was a lot of points where it really could have gone either way.
Yeah, I mean, I just think some questionable compositional choices for Mizzou. I mean, Long Beach adjusting to that full anti-dive setup with the D.Va cast Torb, it just makes it really hard to engage. The Tracer just starting to get a lot less value, and you see some questionable swaps come through. I think the Moira was really questionable. Clairvoyant, I know he's been known for the Mei in the past, but it didn't seem like it was getting the value that it needed to, and Long Beach really, I think, got the compositional advantage in the end. So with that, we are going to be heading to a 5th and final decisive map here in this NECC series. Don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss this. We'll be right back. Well, it has been a back-and-forth series throughout the entire night, and we're going to map 5 here. And really, it kind of seemed like after map 3, it really wasn't going to go another way. I mean, it's just been so close between these two games, outside of maybe the third map. But, yeah, Mizzou taking on CSU Long Beach here, and we are going to head to Watchpoint Gibraltar to close out this series. It didn't really look that great for Mizzou on that last map. They had a lot of chances where it was very winnable, but they just couldn't close it out in those key moments.
I absolutely agree. There was a lot of points where Mizzou really just needed a clutch pick, and they just couldn't find it to win out that fight.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what the strategy switches to here on Watchpoint Gibraltar. I think historically you see a lot more Winston compared to Wrecking Ball on this map, and I think, thankfully for my sanity, I don't think we're going to see any Moira on this map. I think Moira is borderline unplayable on this map. I think she's borderline unplayable regardless. I don't know why Skier is going towards that pick, but no Moira. Breathe a sigh of relief as we get to see some good old-fashioned on-a-brig gameplay from both sides. Clairvoyant going to go ahead and start out with a TP on over to the opposite high ground, swapping over to the Tracer here. Winston for the side of CSU Long Beach. Pella sticking on this Wrecking Ball, though, with Voltaro getting chunked really low early on, but able to disengage to his back line.
I'm seeing from Mizzou here, I wonder if their comp is going to be able to effectively challenge this high ground here that you have on Gibraltar.
Yeah, I mean, generally the objective with Wrecking Ball is to just get a slam onto the back line and follow up with the Tracer, but it's a lot harder to get that flanker set up on this map, and a trade of kills comes through. Ghost Dog goes down, though, and that's a really big pick. Really makes things tougher for Voltaro. He's not going to have nearly as much sustain, but it doesn't really matter because he's just able to jump in and pick off Skier in the meantime. Mizzou struggling to clean up here.
Definitely. And, yeah, like I said, I mean, we saw the Brig on Mizzou struggling to hit people up on the bridge. Backstab Bud with the Echo, he's going to be flying around and he'll have a good time, but, you know, obviously with Long Beach having such an advantage with the high ground here.
Ooh, Pella, some really nice tracking there on the Wrecking Ball, showing off his experience on this hero. He's going to be able to take out the Sojourn, so there's your entry frag for Mizzou. And I think the goal of this composition for Mizzou is just going to have to be to force Long Beach to fight Scrappy. This Winston comp wants a lot more disciplined, cohesive engagements, and with if the Wrecking Ball is just able to knock everybody around and prevent there from being that structure and order, it can be really strong. Ooh, Overclock comes out, but it's a big Bionate from Skier. Pella trying to get some follow-up onto the backline, but not before Doomhair gets a beautiful headshot onto Clairvoyant. Still, the cleanup is there. The anti-nade setup from Skier is good, and it's able to find 2 kills, but Long Beach is answering back in the meantime, and Mizzou, they just don't have anything to deal with this Winston.
And like you said, I think Scrappy is the name of Mizzou's game right now. They're trying to force them down onto the cart, onto the second point, covering it with a minefield.
Oh, that was such a good play from Stratocaster there. He hits the stun as the pulse bomb goes up, so Hashtag's not able to block that. And that might just seal the point for Mizzou, getting rid of that Brig. Really great play from the Mizzou Brigida there. Stratocaster. You don't see too many super impactful plays from the main support position, but he comes through clutch there.
That was very cool to see. And you know, as much as I keep harping on this high ground, Pella seems to have it under control. He's getting up there and knocking them around, knocking them off from their perch, making them fight on his level. Big sleep from Yana there.
Ooh, a nice pulse bomb connection onto Skier. He's trying to chunk this monkey low, and Pella's actually going to be able to force the Primal Rage out. It looks like it's going to result in a kill onto Stratocaster, potentially. Actually, no, they're able to peel for him pretty well, so that's just the ultimate forced out and wasted for the side of Long Beach. Really good play there. Oh, and Pella, he really wants to go for the Sojourn, but he knows there's an Ana waiting for him, ready to sleep that Wrecking Ball if he tries to engage, so going to hold back for now. Backstep Bud looking for a duplicate target potentially, but it's just going to be a nano boost onto the Winston, and that's just going to clean things up pretty quickly. Clairvoyant getting in there, tries to get a pulse bomb, not able to find the connection.
Yeah, a couple nice picks there from Long Beach, just opened the path for them to really tear apart Mizzou's attempt there. It was looking like it was up in the air there as people dancing back and forth. Skier, they're gonna find the kill on Voltaro though.
Yeah, looks like we're having a little bit of an issue with the player cams. It's stuck on, oops, all clairvoyant mode. Minefield, pile driver comes in from Pella. Gets a lot of damage, but not able to quite find the kill. And Doomhair, against all odds, manages to find a headshot in the middle of the chaos. Backstab Bud goes down with Duplicate.
I can't believe that Minefield didn't find any kills with such cramped quarters.
Yeah.
Oh, and here we go. You want to talk about cramped quarters? We got a brawl here. Pella's going to go in there, slam it down, spinning around, and well,
but
again.
it's just so tough, especially with Boltaro swapping on over to D.Va now. It's just so much pressure on the Wrecking Ball. And I'm not sure how Mizzou's going to respond to this. This is, once again, this defensive tank setup that really gave them so much trouble on the previous map. Pella's actually going to move on over to the Winston now. I don't hate this. I think it provides a lot of ability to get in more aggressively on the... don't know what that was. Get in aggressively onto the backline. But as I say, that backstab but goes to the Duplicate, just immediately shut down. This Sojourn has just been on point in terms of checking this Echo. And Pella just not able to get anything going. Tries to go on the backline, but just immediately has Boltaro on his back, pumping damage into that gigantic Winston hitbox. And it's just so rough trying to pilot the Winston into D.Va.
Long Beach is just doing a great job shutting down these dives that Mizzou is trying to put out there. They want to, do that classic dive game plan and split people up, but they just can't find the picks.
Yeah, under a minute to go on this second point. We see a lot of teams get stopped up here. This is not the easiest point to capture. Pella's just going to go ahead and try and get some early positioning inside his ship. Trying to follow up on a Bionade setup from Skier, but overextends just a little bit, almost gets taken out. Nice sleep dart came on from Ghost Dog. Backstab Bud's got to play extremely careful here. So much damage being pumped out by the Sojourn, but Pella does a good job forcing everybody back in the meantime. Clairvoyant on the Tracer. Has a Pulse Bomb in hand, trying to look for something. Self-destruct also gets forced from Boltaro, so survivability taken off the board for this D.Va. Clairvoyant just trying to get a prediction Pulse Bomb, not able to land that, but Pella with the Primal Rage, he's going to be able to find the Tracer, takes that out of the fight. It's double support on the field now for CSU Long Beach. We've got to be really careful of this rally stun potentially coming through onto this Tracer. On Clairvoyant getting taken so low, has to burn the recall, but the picks are good for Mizzou. Sojourn gets into the backline. A nice Bionade from Skier will seal that fight. A little bit stressful towards the end, but Mizzou finally able to get through onto third point.
That certainly was a nail biter, and really Long Beach just doing a great job resisting the urge to go all in on Pella here. Doing a great job of keeping their cool as Pella is applying the pressure.
Nano Winston available now. See when Skier wants to pull the trigger on that. As Pella just early on trying to check this DPS duo. Oh, but gets caught up by the Pulse Bomb, and Skier not able to react in time and deliver that Nano Boost onto him to try and save his life. So Pella's just going to fall here, and it's going to be Mizzou backing up. You can't really engage on this comp without your Winston.
Definitely not. And again, we're seeing some of that high ground come into play. People trying to play up in the rafters on this last point here. We're going to have to see how Mizzou comes up with an answer.
Bud wants to find this Ana. He duplicates the Ana, tries to get that Bionade kill, but it's immediately shut down. The Sleep Dart comes through, and the damage from the Sojourn. I think this just might be it for Mizzou's push. Two members are falling now, and with Skier dying with Nano, they just never got to use that combo with the Winston. Really unfortunate series of events there, and Mizzou just not able to get anything going on third point, and that is where their progress will stall.
Yeah, Long Beach there, I feel like they had a pretty effective counter to the dive strategy there. Whenever Pella on the Winston would dive in, they would just dive themselves, bringing out the D.Va, bringing out the Tracer to get into the back line. And by the time Pella, turned around to see where his team was, they were all dead.
Yeah. So as Mizzou moves on over to the defense, I wonder if they're going to go back to this Wrecking Ball composition. I think it works a bit better on the defense potentially, especially because on offense, you just need to be actively taking angles to set up for those dives. But he's actually going to go back to the Winston, And we're going to see the long-range Mei come out for Clairvoyant as well. This is an interesting one. We started seeing this more last semester when Clairvoyant started transferring over to the hit scan role, but I don't know. I've never been 100% convinced of its effectiveness. I mean, in theory, Mei does have some pretty good long-range capabilities with the icicles, and then obviously has some good anti-dive capabilities with the slow and the primary fire. But on a map like Gibraltar, I mean, I feel like you're losing out on a lot of value. The wall is just not going to do too much to cut off any sort of chokes on this map, so we'll see what he's able to get with it. So immediate teleport across, and Long Beach is going to be sticking with the D.Va comp. A nice wall separates Boltaro from the rest of his team, so you are seeing a little bit of value coming from that Mei early on.
Clairvoyant almost finding the kill on the D.Va there. Can't quite secure it. Pella's going in, going crazy. Is he going to find the kill?
Yeah, I actually just noticed it's not Clairvoyant on the Mei. So this is a bit untraditional for Mizzou. We've generally see Clairvoyant being the one to play this. So it's actually going to be Backstep Bud. This is really interesting.
They seem to be doing pretty well so far, able to push Long Beach into their spawn here.
Yeah, I think that was an anti-nade setup from Skier that takes several of those members low, and really nice follow-up from Pella.
And you gotta say, Backstep Bud is doing what he set out to do. He's hitting those shots on Mei. He's putting out some serious damage here.
Yeah, D.Va's going to make her way on up, try and contest these supports who are playing really far forward. And if they're able to force them out, that could spell trouble for Pella. Oh, almost able to find the kill onto the Echo, but in the meantime, Doomhair wins out that Tracer duel against Clairvoyant. So a lot of that flanking pressure off the table now. It's a lot harder for Pella to engage without the help of his Tracer. Bionade is going to get sent out onto the D.Va, but Pella slept up, antied up, going to get hit with the Nano from Skier to keep him alive. And that's actually able to convert into a kill onto Ghost Dog still. The payload is being pushed right now. It's up to Clairvoyant to stop that from happening and actually able to clean up his equal in the meantime. So Mizzou continuing this hold, looking pretty good so far.
I'm actually really liking Backstep Bud on the Mei, using those walls to cut off Boltara on the D.Va whenever Boltara tries to contest the high ground.
Ooh, and Pella spots out an anti-brig and just decides to pull the trigger on the Primal Rage. He sees the Echo as well, able to get another. And a really good ultimate usage there from the Winston.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Mizzou.
And they're going to get the stagger onto the D.Va.
Wow. Mizzou seeming very dominant.
Yeah, and Boltaro's just not even going to bother with that self-destruct. He's just going to go back into spawn and swap on over to Winston to avoid the stagger. I like this swap for the offense. And they're actually just going to layer the Nano onto the Echo rather than the Winston, but it's immediately answered. A Blizzard from Backstep Bud is not actually able to find anything with the rally rolling from both sides. It's a bit of a better one for Long Beach, so they're going to win out this fight, it looks like. Pella just trying to stall this out, but he's not on cart and not actually stalling anything. So Backstep Bud getting staggered, trying to find a kill. He's actually going to throw in the ice block. I'm not a big fan of that decision. He's able to get the pick, but he staggers himself out immensely. Pulse Bomb comes through from Clairvoyant. Not able to find the kill and not able to find the touch. CSU is just going to go ahead and cap this point up.
Yeah, it was a bit touch and go there, a bit scrappy there, as we see the Winston into Winston team composition, some big dives, and it looked like Long Beach got the better of it.
Yeah, old Pella falling so extremely low, but he's got the Brig available to peel for him there. Skier's going to pump some healing into him, get him topped up, also going to get the rest of the way to that Nano boost, so a really powerful tool available, and a big Bionade connects onto both supports. They're not even going to need the Nano in this fight. Pella's just going to be able to clean up the Brig just like that. But in the meantime, Quaver gets in onto the backline and picks off both of the Mizzou supports. It's a trade of backlines right now, and it trades across the board. Pella's going to go ahead and invest the Primal Rage into this fight, though, and that's going to seal the deal. Clairvoyant getting in on the action at the end there, and Mizzou going to stop this payload progress for now.
Great Bionade by Skier. Just saw the problem, answered the problem, and really opened up that fight for Mizzou, taking out both the supports, making it easy for the rest of the team.
CSU looking for an engagement here, and this is the point where Mizzou really got stopped up on their offense, so curious to see how it goes for CSU. That's a good way to start, though. finding the pulse bomb kill onto the Ana, but it's a trade. Backstab Bud gets in there with the focusing beam still. Doomhair able to find the other backliner from Mizzou. This Tracer is just running wild in the backline right now. And Mizzou, they're going to be forced to back up. Pella just cannot reasonably go in without his Ana available. Still, they're going to have a Nano to try and stop the cap here. But it's going to be an opposing Nano on the other side. Ghost Dog has that ready to go. I think this might come down to Skier trying to find a big bio nade once again, but actually Backstab Bud draws first blood, somehow managing to find the Tracer. Bio nade gets blocked, just lands on to Stratocaster there. But once again, Backstab Bud finds another big pick, and we saw the enemy Tracer go wild in that previous fight, but now it's Backstab Bud on the Echo, getting his fill. And the rally comes out and is immediately shut down by Pella. That's a really big ultimate off the table for Long Beach. Mizzou wants to keep this going, but it's going to be a little bit tricky with the Nano invested now. Stratocaster is going to go down. Both supports down now for Mizzou, and Skier still holding on to that Nano. Pella might need to invest the Primal Rage into this just to stay alive, and he will. Clairvoyant manages to keep this going, finds the Echo, and Backstab Bud. The punch set up from Pella just punts the Winston into the backline, into the loving arms of that focusing beam from the Echo. Really great stuff from Mizzou. That looked like it might have been a lost fight, but really great ultimate usage from Pella to turn that around.
That was a long fight, and Mizzou could have lost it a dozen different ways, but they really pulled through there. I think clever usage of the ults and of using the terrain, getting into that close quarters where their composition is going to do pretty well.
Yeah, both support ults available for Mizzou now, and there's not much left in the tank for Long Beach. They're close to a Pulse Bomb and a Primal, but that's about it. Nano Boost comes out onto Pella. It's getting so much damage. The Echo goes down, and he's got the supports in his sight. Rally comes out from Stratocaster to help the backline sustain, as does the duplicate onto the Tracer. Backstab Bud, he's hunting into the backline looking for that enemy Tracer, and Clairvoyant takes down the Winston. That's the tip of the spear snapped off. No more tank for the engage, and Pella is just going wild on the supports. There's no one to touch, and Mizzou, after a back-and-forth affair, is able to close things out here on Watchpoint Gibraltar and take the series.
That is more of the performance that I was hoping to see out of Mizzou. That is exactly what I wanted to see. And they really executed there on the defense.
Yeah, I mean, really great stuff. Watchpoint Gibraltar is just such a unique map for those dive compositions. And really just having that as map 5 in the series provides such an interesting ending because it's such a departure from the comps we've seen earlier on. Especially both teams having to navigate such different backlines with the Ana Brig. And I think that was the main key difference for Mizzou in the end, was just their backline was just the smallest bit better. That ultimate usage was on point, and it gets them the win. It was a tough one, but a well-earned one, I'd say.
Very well earned.
Yeah, so we will be right back with a post-game interview, I believe, right after a short break. So don't go anywhere. We'll have an interview with one of our Mizzou players coming up. Welcome back, everyone. I'm joined on the desk here by Clairvoyant, our hit scan for the Premier Overwatch team. How you feeling after the win tonight?
I'm pretty tired, Gary. I'm pretty tired.
Yeah, long series, definitely, but getting the win in the end. Kind of talk me through what were some of like the compositional changes, because we saw on map 1 you guys were trying to run, I think it was the Doom Fist, and then you guys started moving towards the Wrecking Ball later in the series.
I think the Doomfist swap was Pella died and said, I'm on Doom here. And then
Gotcha.
run. Doom is pretty good. We haven't really practiced a lot so far this semester. We're still kind of getting into it, and the meta is shifting a lot. Big patch coming up very soon, so we'll lock in then. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Doom worked pretty well, but it was mostly that Wrecking Ball, so that seems to be your bread and butter. What were some of the adjustments you made, especially on Runasapi? That was one of the more dominant maps where you were playing the Wrecking Ball composition. I think we saw also some swaps between the DPS. What was the thought process between you on Tracer versus Backstep on Tracer?
Yeah, so Nat, our coach, is also the Gen G coach, and so they played a series today, actually, and they're kind of a Wrecking Ball team. And Nat came in and was like, he kind of gave us the if this, then that for our comps. So because this team was just counterpicking us like right out the gate. They were counterpicking us before the round even started. I don't know what that was. Like, we gotta get a delay check on one of the broadcasts. But yeah, he was like, if they're on Hazard, you just go Sojourn. If they're on like whatever, just go Torb. He said even a 2-year-old could play it, and so I can play it. I'm at least 2 years old, so I played that on New Junk City. I haven't scrimmed Torb at all. I just kind of went on the corner, and I got more value than like anyone playing their heart out on like a normal hero, like an honest hero would get. So I just sat and then watched their health bars go down as I spammed down like a random angle into like the left side of first point, and I was like, I guess I'm holding my ground, and I'm on Torb. So, but we did have to make a lot of swaps. Nat wanted us to do the ball sim Torb, but I have not played sim at all, so couldn't really do that.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned it a little bit. Big patch coming next week. I mean, what's your first impressions on the perk system coming in next week? How do you think that's going to really shake up the meta?
I'm really excited to see it in pro play first before I make any like assumptions. Like I sit next to Pella, so I look over and I see him like putting chunks of paragraphs into like his team Discord on like all the perks I guess are out on like a Flats like YouTube video or something. So we got to study up Flats, just the greatest to ever do it, and just like kind of tier list like what perk do you want to play on what map, whatever, what's the setup, what's the build, what has good synergy. So I guess we'll kind of just learn from him who learned from Flats, who's the GOAT. So
yeah, and also next week, very exciting, we have our Overwatch 2 Invitational here hosted by Mizzou Esports. I mean, how are you feeling heading into that next week?
Pretty good. I think we're seated second behind Blinn. I'm excited to see what Blinn's roster is. I'm still trying to figure that out. Anyone in the chat, please tell me who their hit scan is. I want to know. A lot of state schools coming in. Excited to see what their rosters are like, what their programs are like. Because we've met the Winthrops and we know like the Northwood rosters and all that. But I'm excited to see like Texas A&M and Omaha and K-State and all that, and kind of get some like buzz around campus with that too. Because just with the traditional schools, it kind of like is easier to build hype around. So.
Yeah, totally. And that invitational will be next weekend, Saturday and Sunday, live from the Mizzou Esports facility right here in Center Hall. But that's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you so much for joining me on the desk. We will be back next week with more streams for all of our premier titles. And until then, signing off. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.